Yeah, Pittsburgh, 84. 37 years furnace, granddaughter, welder 2023. Same door 1967, tears without permission. Hey. Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh, Steel Town 84. Grandfather worked the furnace floor. 37 years of molten. Everything he touched was golden. With the heat of something ancient. Men who built this nation patient. In their sacrifice and silence, never once complained about the violence or the heat against their bodies. Every shift a different odyssey. Through the furnace, through the danger. Every co-worker a stranger. Turn to brother, turn to family. By the shared experience of barely making it through every shift now. Every morning was a gift now. Grandfather's hands were mapped with burns now. Every scar a place he learned now. That the body keeps the record of the work that built the sacred, ordinary life around us. Trumpet plays for Pittsburgh furnace. Every note worth every surface. Burned and healed and burned again now. Bass guitar walks like the men now. Who walked in the heat each morning without drama, without warning. To the world that they were heroes. Just the work and just the zeros. Added to the check on Friday. That became the rent on Sunday. Grandfather never called it sacrifice. Just Tuesday. Granddaughter became a welder. 2023 she held her first torch, steady first beat running straight and clean. Grandfather coming to the shop to see her working. Something in his eyes not lurking, but arriving, finally landing. After years of understanding that the trade he gave his body to a dying slowly, nobody wanted to do anymore now. Granddaughter walked through the same door he had walked through 1967 when the world was 60s. Pittsburgh steel and full of promise. Grandfather stood quiet, harmless. Tears that came without permission. Said I thought this was the mission. Overthought the furnace finished. Thought the family had diminished its connection to the making of the things that need the taking of a torch and steady hand now. Granddaughter said I understand now. Why you never talked about it? Pride too deep to speak about it. But your hands told every story. Every scar a piece of glory that you never claimed for yourself. Took it off the mental shelf. When I picked up this torch, Grandpa, everything you were came back through. Grandfather's hands were mapped with burns now. Every scar a place he learned now. That the body keeps the record of the work that built this sacred, ordinary life around us. Trumpet plays for Pittsburgh furnace. Every note worth every surface. Burned and healed and burned again now. Bass guitar walks like the men now. Who walk into heat each morning without drama, without warning. To the world that they were heroes. Just the work and just the zeros. Pittsburgh 84, 37 years furnace. Granddaughter, welder 2023. Same door 1967. Tears without permission. Trumpet plays for Pittsburgh furnace. Every note worth every surface. Burned and healed and burned again now. Bass guitar walks like the men now. Grandfather, listen Friday. Grandfather, listen Friday. Grandfather visits every Friday. Watches her work without speaking. Same way his father watched him. 3 generations. Same fire. Different hands. Same pride. Same pride. Yeah. Wildfire to the house on Thursday. Family stood there watching burn away. Everything they own in ashes. Photo albums, baby blankets. 17 years of construction. Father built with his own function. Every weekend, every evening. Now just smoking, people grieving. Neighbors brought them clothes and casseroles. Insurance company patrol said the policy at lab 6 months ago, so nothing fixes. Nothing covered, sleeping now in church with others who had lost their homes that season. Fire took everything for no reason. Father stood and watched it burning. 16 hours never turning away from what he built with bare hands. Now just ash and empty air stands. Grand piano plays for what was lost. Dream has got a cost, but the family stood together. Church, gymnasium, and cold weather. Oh, counting what the fire couldn't take from them, though nothing wouldn't. Burn was love and burn was laughter. Everything they're chasing after. FEMA trailer, 3 months waiting. Father working double shifts, creating new foundation, new beginning. Mother teaching kids and winning. Small victories are daily normal. Homework done and dinner formal. Even in that trailer tiny, something in them kept on shining. Daughter started lifting weights in church gym where they had been staying. Pastor notice gave a key to open early 7 days through. Rain and shine, she trained at 5 now. Something clicked and kept her alive now. Through the loss, through all the chaos, I gave her back her focus. Father stood and watched it burning. 16 hours never turning away from what he built with bare hands. Now just ash and empty air stands. Grand piano plays for what was lost. What was lost. Every dream has got a cost. But the family stood together. Church, gymnasium, and cold weather. Counting what the fire couldn't take from them, though nothing wouldn't. Burn was love and burn was laughter. Everything they're chasing after. Thursday fire. Insurance lapsed. Church, gymnasium. Daughter, 5 a.m. Grand piano plays for what was lost. Oh, every dream has got a cost. Every dream, but the family stood together. Church, gymnasium, in cold weather. They rebuilt 2 years later. Daughter kept the church gym key. Pastor said keep it. Some things fire cannot touch. Yeah. Detroit 68, the riots left the neighborhood in quiet. Devastation, grandfather walking through the ash and always talking to us chuffs about rebuilding. Something worth the next child wielding as a weapon against poverty. They kept returning honestly. Built a hardware store on Crash It Avenue with nothing but a loan from church and congregation. Said this block needs a foundation of a business owned by someone who will stay when things get gruesome. 50 years the store stayed open through the crack years, through the broken. Grandfather's hardware store on Gratiot. Every nail and bolt a ballad to the men who chose to stay now when the easier road was away now. Trumpet plays for Detroit staying. Organ hums for grandfather praying. Every morning store was open. Every promise he had spoken to the neighborhood around him when the city tried to drown him. And the statistics of the leaving, he stayed put and kept on breathing. grandson. Grew up stocking shelves there, every Saturday himself there, learning names of every customer. Old Miss Johnson always sussed her in at 9 for light bulbs always. Mr. Chin on Tuesdays, hallways, painted fresh and always stopping for a coffee, never dropping. Conversation with the grandson, said, boy, your grandfather has done something that the textbooks cannot teach you, which is staying when not. Staying would have been so simple. Every wrinkle, every dimple on your grandfather's face is carved from choosing this street, choosing this farm of community he planted. Seeds of trust so long and granted. Everyone who came a feeling that this block was worth the healing. Grandson took the store at 30. Grandfather said, don't be dirty with the legacy. Just honor every customer who's a donor of their trust and of their mornings to the store without the warnings that they'll find it closed tomorrow. That is nothing to borrow from the easy road of leaving. Stay in building, keep believing. Grandfather's hardware store on Gratiot. Every nail and bolt a ballad to the men who chose to stay now when the easier road was away now. Trumpet plays for Detroit staying, organ hums for grandfather praying. Every morning store was open, every promise he had spoken to the neighborhood around him. When the city tried to drown him in the statistics of the leaving, he stayed put and kept on breathing. Detroit, 68, Gratiot Avenue, 50 years open. Grandson 30, stay and build. Trumpet plays for Detroit staying, organ hums for grandfather praying. Every morning store was open, every promise he had spoke. Store is still open, same address, 68. Grandson opens at 7 every morning, same key. Grandfather used, never copy. Original, original. Original. Shipyard closing Tuesday, 1,400 jobs by Thursday, gone like smoke above the Clyde. Now father 47 tried. Now every agency in office, every promise, every cautious optimism crushed by letters saying sorry, nothing better. 3 months mortgage left unpaid. Now everything his father made and built across the previous 30 years of honest work, now dirty with the stamp of made redundant. Father sitting silent, abundant with the shame that met his error, carried like a cross much clearer. Father sat 3 weeks in armchair, curtains closed and going nowhere. Son age 16 watched in silence, then chose action over violence of the despair. Fill in the living room. Bagpipes cry for the Clyde River. Every note a proud deliverer of a people who kept building even when the shipyard willing them to disappear and vanish. Every working dream to banish. Celtic violin plays the dignity of the men who built this city. Slice! Some started boxing Tuesday evenings. Coach McTavish saw him heaving bags with anger born from watching father shrinking, slowly dropping out of everything he lived for. Said, son, channel what you give for something bigger than your anger. Make the rage a stepping stone. The original champion by 18. Father came to every ring scene, slowly standing, slowly straightening. Every victory was lightning. Something dark inside the household. Curtains open, father threshold crossed back into life and living. Started volunteering, giving back to younger men, now facing same redundancy and placing blame on shoulders built for something better. Father said, do something with their hands that built the shipyard. Nothing here is ever this hard as the shame of sitting still while life moves past you by a long mile. Father sat 3 weeks in armchair, curtains closed and going nowhere. Son age 16 watched in silence, then chose action over violence
volunteers every Tuesday now. Same building where he sat in darkness, helping other men find their way back. Curtains open, always open now.
Valedictorian speech and nobody clapping. Not because they hated me, but because rapping. You had to run a kid from 4C being first in class required a kind of seeing that the neighborhood had in practice. Yeah, single mom, 3 jobs, and still she said the table every night was something hot. Even when there's something hot was not a lie. Teachers brought me up in 6th grade quietly, put me in a slower track and privately decided that the zip code was a ceiling. Took me 2 years just to get the feeling that the placement wasn't permanent. That fighting for the high class was worth the writing of 100 letters to the principal until he moved me up the pinnacle. Moved me to the top class sophomore year. Every morning in the weight room, getting clear about what I was capable of doing. Body and the mind simultaneously pursuing. Valedictorian and starting linebacker, 2 things they said couldn't coexist. In fact, the kid from 4C proved the theory broken. Every limitation they had spoken into existence over me evaporated. Every assumption they had cultivated about what certain kids from certain places grow into dissolved on all their faces. When I walked across that stage and spoke to everyone who ever thought the joke was on me, turns out I was building something. Every rep, every chapter, every nothing they predicted for my future turned to fuel. Every low expectation was a tool I sharpened myself against, and here is what gets built from 7 years of fear. College full ride, first the family going. Mom came to the campus without showing how terrified she was, just held my hand through the orientation. Seemed to understand more than me that this was the arrival of everything she'd worked for her survival. Guide the parenting was simply being there and working hard and always seeing me as more than what the system saw. She never once accepted any law of limitation placed on what I be. Said, baby, that is their story, not our seed. The difference between someone else's ceiling and your actual capacity is feeling the difference in refusing to confuse them. One belongs to them, the other choose them. Move me to the top class sophomore year. Every morning in the weight room, getting clear about what I was capable of doing. Body and the mind simultaneously pursuing. Valedictorian and starting linebacker, 2 things they said couldn't coexist. In fact, the kid from 4C proved the theory broken. Every limitation they had spoken into existence over me evaporated. Every assumption they had cultivated about what certain kids from certain places growing to dissolved on all their faces.
Mom kept the speech folded in her Bible. Says she reads it when she needs reminding that hard things are possible. 4C's still there, different kid in it now. Hope someone tells them the zip code is not the ceiling. Someone told me, eventually, made all the difference.
Mumbai slummed every 1994, the air between the buildings thick with possibility and poverty, and the ability to see both simultaneously. Mother stitched leather shoes serenely, 12 hours daily, fingers bleeding, 4 kids watching, always needing more than what the slum provided. Father left and never guided anyone back to that alley where the family kept the tally of the debts and other dinners. Missed another slow beginners, luck that seemed to skip their doorstep every morning, every poor step. Mother's fingers never stopping, even when the needle dropping through the leather, through the callus. Built our future without malice. Sit our place for dollar of every morning, every note without a warning of how beautiful the music sounds when pain beats becomes the basic building block of something greater. Tablet drums beat like the creator of a rhythm born from hardship. Every stitch a form of worship. Computer class on Saturday, the only passion. Acapulling from the cricket pitch where boys would bowl and hit it. Teacher Sarah from Melbourne said this boy's code is well born. Showed us supervisor Rajan said we need to keep this Asian talent here and nurture properly. First scholarship entirely funded for computer science. HIIT to Zone Alliance with the future, with the coding language nobody was showing. Boys from Dharavi could master some, proved every single pastor of the low expectation wrong now. Mothers of the stitching strong now. Inside his office frame there, single shoe his mother named there, with a marker on the insole. Said beta, this is your whole soul. His fingers never stopping, even when the needle dropping through the leather, through the callus. Built our future without malice. Sipped our place for Dharavi morning. Every note without a warning of how beautiful the music sounds when pain becomes the basic building block of something greater. Have the drums beat like the creator of a rhythm born from hardship. Every stitch a form of worship. Dharavi, 12 hours stitching. Sarah from Melbourne, HIIT scholarship. Single shoe frame in office. Sit our place for Dharavi morning. Every note without a warning of how beautiful the music sounds when pain becomes the basic. The shoe hangs above his desk. Beta, this is your whole soul, she wrote. Every line of code since then has been written for her fingers. Cleveland won 2008. Yeah. Yeah. Cleveland went to 2008. Recession hit and sealed the fate of 40,000 jobs and counting. Father engineered a bounty of his 20 years of service. Gone in memo cold and nervous. HR lady reading paper. Father drove home, became a stranger. In his own house sitting quiet. Every morning breakfast riot of the normal replaced with silence. Father fighting in the violence of a pride that meant his era. Carry like across the clearer version of himself before the layoff slowly being restored. Father sat 6 months in silence. Son, age 15, shows compliance with the pain by choosing iron basement weights and always trying to lift something he could measure. Cello plays for Cleveland winter. Every note removes the splinter of the shame that unemployment drove into his father's ointment of identity dark. Play cold like Ohio, and that cuts through thin cold wearing. Father too proud for the declaring of defeat, but son saw everything. Chose the weights, chose the offering of his own small daily victory. To his father quietly came home Tuesday, showed his father video of lifting father than he ever had before. Now washed in something more now. Moved behind his eyes, the frozen lake of him began to I'm frozen by the side of sun, achieving something small but worth believing. Father said, show me how, son. Spent 3 hours that afternoon teaching father basic movements, every small improvement. Celebrated both of them now in the basement, finding somehow common ground and iron lifting, both of them slowly shifting. Father found a job in March now, 8 months after sitting parched now from the drought of losing purpose. Sun was there, the whole cold surface. Oh, that winter never leaving. Father's side just kept on breathing life into the house by showing up each day and always going down those basement stairs and asking, Father, coming on me, masking nothing, just a son who needed spot. A father never heeded anything so fast in years now. Basement gym replaced the fears now of a man who lost his title. Son gave back what was vital. Father sat 6 months in silence. Son, age 15, chose compliance with the pain by choosing iron basement weights and always trying to lift something he can measure. Sell a place for Cleveland winner. Every note removes the splinter of the shame that unemployment drove into his father's ointment. Of identity, dark piano, keys play cold like Ohio, and that cuts through thin cold wearing. Father too proud for the declaring. Cleveland 2008. Father, 6 months silent. Basement weights. Tuesday video. March job. Sell a place for Cleveland winner. Every note removes the splinter of the shame that unemployment drove into his father's ointment. Father still trains every morning. Same basement. Same weight son bought in 2008. Never replaced them. Said they brought him back. Not replacing that. Yeah. Yeah. Layoff notice and a Friday afternoon. 53 years old in the conference room. Suddenly the smallest place I've ever been. HR lady reading words I've never seen. Applied to me before in 30 years of showing up on time through all the fears and mergers and the restructuring, and still I showed up every morning, paid the bill of loyalty with decades and received the folder in the handshake and believe for 3 days that my life was finished. That the resume of someone 53 and flat on his back from corporate downsizing with interest, nobody surprised, and absolutely no one went in silence. Answered every application with a violence. 3 months, nothing, and my son said, Dad, come train with me. I've never had a workout partner with the early morning. Showed up Tuesday, 5 a.m., no warning. First session, couldn't finish what he started. Every set cut short and broken hearted by a body that has spent 3 decades sitting at a desk through all the decades. Son said nothing, just reduce the weight to Dad. Let's start from you, not from the state you think you should be at, just from the day. 53 years old and that's okay. Something in that sentence rearranged me. Nothing about the circumstance had changed me, but the bar beneath my hands, the place, the simple honesty. You're lifting weights that don't care about your former title or your LinkedIn or the recital of your accomplishments. Just what you do right now, but what you have, that much is true. 8 months later, different story, different body, different mind, the indifferent world of hiring suddenly responded. 3 interviews, the third one corresponded to an offer smaller than before, but chosen by a man who knew what more meant. Different now than what it meant in March, when the photo landed stiff with starts. Son asked if I would keep the training after starting work. I said, explaining nothing is going anywhere. The Tuesday 5 a.m. is blind now. Every Thursday too, I found something in the place. That 30 years of conference rooms and faith tied to other people's bottom lines. They take it from me somewhere in the 90s. 3 months, nothing, and my son said, Dad, come train with me, I've never had a workout. Punting with the early morning, showed up Tuesday, 5 a.m., no warning. First session, couldn't finish what he started. Every set cut short and broken hearted. My body that has been 3 decades, sitting at a desk through all the decades. Some said nothing, just reduce the weight. Said, Dad, let's start from, you're not from the state you think you should be at, just from the day. 53 years old and that's okay. Still training every Tuesday, Thursday. Some moved cities last year. Still text each other the numbers. Weight rep sets every session. He said, Dad, you're stronger than when we started. I said, I know. Took a layoff to find that out. 53, just beginning.
Mississippi Delta 1980. Cotton field and life was weighty. Grandfather picked until his fingers bled, and still the memory lingers. And the grandson born up north now, Chicago winter telling forth now. Stories grandfather would whisper every Sunday after dinner. Said, boy, never let them see you broken, never let them free you from the dignity you carry. Every morning, ordinary courage costs more than the fancy kind that everyone can fancy themselves having get up quiet. Every morning starts your riot. Grandfather's hands in Chicago kitchen. Every Sunday story stitching. Cotton field to city apartment. 2 generations, 1 apartment. Mandolin plays for the Delta. Every note a gospel shelter. From the weight of what was carried, so that I could be less harried by the obstacles before me. Blues guitar plays out the story of the men who built my shoulders, strong enough to carry boulders. Track scholarship to Northwestern. Grandfather came first time resting on an airplane, age of 80. First time leaving Mississippi lately. Pressed his face against the window. Said, boy, look at what the wind blows. When you plant the seeds of sacrifice, everything becomes paradise. Graduation day, front row sitting. Suit he bought in 1960. Still fit perfectly, still pressing. Every crease a quiet blessing. On the grandson standing podium, speaking words like a stadium. Was inside him all along now. Grandfather sat and sang his song now. Quietly beneath his breath there, same old hymn he'd always kept there since the cotton fields of childhood. Said some prayers just understood. Better when you see them answer. Standing watching as he mastered. Everything he said was not for people who came from the cotton floor. Grandfather's hands in Chicago kitchen. Every Sunday story stitching. Cotton field to city apartment. 2 generations, 1 apartment. Mandolin plays for the Delta. Every note a gospel shelter. From the weight of what was carried, so that I could be less harried strong enough to carry boulders. Mississippi Delta, first airplane, 80 years old. 1960 suit still fitting him beneath his breath. Less hairy. He wore that suit one more time. My wedding 3 years later still fit perfectly. Some things are made to last.
Fukushima, March 2011. Father worked the plant since 7 years before the wave came crashing. Everything in seconds smashing. 30 years of safe mornings gone without the proper warnings. Father called at 2:15, said get the children, get the needed documents and drive to my mother's village and tell your brothers nothing yet, just go and hurry. Mother heard the voice and worry in his tone that never wavered, even when the situation called for panic, called for breaking. Father's voice just kept on taking.
Last call 2:15 that Friday. Father's voice so calm that my day stopped completely, froze completely.
Last word spoken so discreetly.
Kodo strings play for the ocean. Every wave a slow devotion to the memory of the fathers who stayed back to protect the others. Psycho drums beat for the workers. Silent heroes, not the shirkers who ran first, but those who stayed now.
Everything they were displayed now. 14 years and still no closure. Government maintained composure while the families kept on asking questions. Nobody stopped them asking of the answers that they carried. Every truth they had miscarried into bureaucratic language. Everything reduced to damage. Some became an engineer now. Nuclear safety, his frontier now. Said someone has to build the systems better than the ones that left him fatherless at age of 7, working toward a safer heaven for the workers, for the families who still live with these calamities.
Last call 2:15 that Friday. Father's voice so calm that my day stopped completely, froze completely.
Last word spoken so discreetly.
Kodo strings play for the ocean. Every wave a slow devotion to the memory of the fathers who stayed back
To protect the others.
Psycho drums beat for the workers. Silent heroes, not the shirkers who ran first, but those who stayed now.
Everything they were displayed now.
2:15 Friday. Father's calm voice. 7 years old. Nuclear safety engineer. Kodo strings play for the ocean. Every wave a slow devotion to the memory of the fathers who stayed back
To protect the others.
The call ended at 2:20.
dedicated his thesis to the workers who stayed.